You've been in Maryville High School for how long?
54 years.
54 years. In this day and age of teaching, what's gotten better?
Good question. I'm trying to think of something. Someone wrote that in one of the things on social media. She said, I remember, someone calling you Miss Ferguson and you didn't answer. And then he tried 3 or 4 times. And then you finally said, you'll find that I answer better if you address me as Dr. Ferguson. In the doctoral program at UT, I was the first woman in English to get a doctorate. And one parent wrote and said, you were such a role model for girls, because during that time period, they would not have thought they could do that. They made it really hard on me. They graded everything, did everything, more so for me than the men. And but I was strong enough to make it through.
Did you always know you wanted to be a teacher?
Oh yeah, I always wanted to be a teacher. From the time I was in elementary school, they cast me in the role of a teacher in our school play. People wanted help with their homework, they always came to me, It's that type of a thing, Apparently, I have the persona of a teacher or one who will help. My first day of teaching started right before we got married, in that they called me up and they said, would you teach English in summer school at Everett High School? So my very first teaching was doing that. It was a fun time, but the very first day was just kind of an eye-opener. The kids comment on what you look like. They say, oh, I like your dress. I like this or that, or your hair's messed up. I mean, they say anything. And I thought, this is going to be fun.
We're about 2 weeks out from your last day here.
Right,
What is going through your mind right now?
What's going through my mind right now is a lot of mixed emotions. I think it's time to go, but it's hard. This is the only job I've ever had in my life. When I had to write my letter of resignation, I'd ask them, I said, well, what should I say? And people said, well, just what you would say anytime you left a job. And I said, but I have never done that before in 54 years. I'll miss the kids a lot, most of all. They're my legacy, and I hate not to be here for them. I just want to be sure that there are teachers who are going to work really hard to prepare them for what they want to do. And because I won't be. I was always proud of our school system. I felt like we had, the best school system around. And I think what's special about it also was that students took pride in their work and that we had programs to inspire them. There's just great kids here. There really are. The differences between teaching then and teaching now. The testing, okay? They've enacted we're testing the kids to death. So it's not just the students who are in jeopardy, it's the teachers. So like if you get a bad evaluation, you might get knocked down out of teaching this class, or you might get fired or whatever. And so there's so much pressure to teach things that maybe aren't that important. I mean, it's taken a lot of the creativity out of teaching, and a lot of our projects we had to quit doing because it was just drill and kill the whole time, And so the projects that I can't really do anymore are the big projects like Family History Project, the Multimedia Museum that we had in the library, they don't want us to do stuff like that. And they said, well, not every kid has everything to, means to do those things. But I always told them, we're going to cover that. We'll make sure they have what they need. But the kids get excited about it. They come to life, and they're doing writing, they're doing research, they're doing presenting. I can't see that would be a waste of time, The kids had to be interviewed. I mean, it was great preparation for the future,
What are you most looking forward to in retirement?
I can't say I'm really looking forward to it. That's one reason why I haven't retired, is because I don't have anything else to do. And people keep making their wonderful suggestions. You could travel. And I said, I've already traveled around the world a few times. And you could see your grandkids. I said, we talk to them every day and we see them a lot, You could read books. I said, I've read 500 books during COVID, They'll have these wonderful suggestions, but I don't want to leave my kids. I'm afraid people won't get them ready, but if I have to leave them, okay. But what am I going to do every single day? I'm a workhorse, I am a super hard worker, and so if you tell me I'm going to do something, I'll probably put a week or two or a month into preparing to do that. And preparation has been the key to me being ready to meet anything. And so I still don't know what I'm going to do. But how you look at life and what you have to do, no matter what it is it hard, you don't want to do it, whatever it is, if you have some enthusiasm or some eyes open what you could get out of this, it's just going to be a lot better. And if you can have some passion about what you're going to do, realize you can learn something from everything. I'd like to be remembered as someone who, don't make me cry. I'd like for them to remember, because I'm seeing that they do remember, that you always had a smile on your face. You always brought energy to the room. You always let us do creative things. You didn't make us just stick to boring old curriculum. You tried to find creative ways for us to learn. And you taught us to read and write and do research, and we were successful. But most of all, they seemed to value the fact that I really cared about them. I'm trying to remember who it was that said this, but she was interviewed about me, and she said, well, I always knew Dr. Ferguson cared about me. And they said, well, how do you know? Because she always, when I talked to her, she put her hand on my shoulder, she smiled at me, or maybe she even hugged me, and she honestly wanted to know how it was. And I do care.